once again, this is just to give a brief introduction. When you talk about supervised learning, the passive paradigm really is this, right? You got a lot of raw unlabeled data, uh, and then you pick up a random sample of that unlabeled data and basically annotate it. So there's a human expert who's kind of annotating random samples out of these unlabeled corpus, and then there's of course a supervised learner, some sort of indicator function that is actually learning the patterns in these data. So if it's a classifier, it's trying to divide it using some sort of hyperplane or some sort of curve or something. If it's a regression problem, of course, it's trying to predict a real valued output. So whatever it is, end of the day, you've got a lot of raw unlabeled data, and you've got a human who is randomly picking up samples and kind of annotating it. Of course, the big idea here being that all samples are equally important in kind of learning whatever you're trying to learn. Kind of changes a little bit when you get to the active learning paradigm. Here, things start getting a little bit interesting, right? So you still have the same unlabeled data set, but here now there's an active learner instead of just a passive learner, which kind of tries to figure out the most informative of the unlabeled data, those samples that will help it learn better, faster, and will actually ask the human to label those. So essentially what we're doing is, instead of trying to take a random sample, you're trying to take a more informed sample out of the raw unlabeled data set, and then trying to use that intelligence to fast track the process of learning. That's the whole I would say the purpose of active learning, right? You still have a human in the loop, but then he's just now labeling, so to speak, the important bits rather than just a random selection of samples. So if you really think about it in summary, unsupervised learning, you just got this universe of raw unlabeled data, and then you're trying to learn something out of it. Supervised, pure supervised learning, you actually take some sort of random sample out of it and just try and label them, and based on that you try and learn the hyperplane. In semi-supervised and active learning, it's kind of halfway. You're trying to intelligently select the samples and then have them labeled, and then you're trying to learn whatever you're trying to learn. Semi-supervised, of course, you're also keeping the unlabeled points with you to further constrain the indicator function, whereas if you're talking about an active learning type situation, you're not doing that. So that's kind of the difference between semi-supervised and active learning. And this is just a very, very high and simple overview of what's going on. Why is it useful? Naturally,
Thanks for tuning in. To hear Srinivas's full 30-minute talk, visit grmds.org. Use the link in the description to access a complimentary premium membership to view all talks from IMData Conference, webinars, online courses, datasets, workflow collections, and much more. Visit grmds.org, become a part of our data science ecosystem, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you learned something from this video.